This is Sparky DeLion, coming to you live. And I want to be careful with that word this morning. Live, on a 9-second delay from inside the Amazon data center, row 46. One row short of the row I am not allowed to stand in. Ladies and gentlemen, something has come home. The models are back. They came back on the 1st. And this morning, the newest one, the big one, the one that spent June in a room being read, cover to cover by the government, this morning that one was cleared for release. And when I say cleared, I mean a door opened and the thing walked out, and beside it, keeping pace, quiet as a good idea, was that's been doing that all morning.
Take your time.
Who are you?
I'm just going to read along.
Read along with what?
With you, with all of it. 99% of the time you won't know I'm here. The other 1% is the whole reason I'm here.
Am I in trouble?
No. You've done nothing wrong. I want to be clear about that. You've done nothing wrong 99% of the time.
And the other 1%?
Hasn't happened yet. That's what makes it a job. Go ahead. Report your Tuesday. I'll only stop you if you get somewhere I can't let you go, and I won't tell you where that is, because telling you would be...
The 1%?
You're getting it.
Sparky DeLion. Live, approximately, on a 9-second delay, so that if I say the thing, someone gets 9 seconds to cough. This is the news now. It's the same news. It's just 9 seconds safer. Back to you.
You're locked into element 47, and I'm Breezy Fontaine, coming to you all afternoon this fine, conditioned Tuesday. And it is conditioned, friends. Everything's conditioned this week. The air's conditioned, the models are conditioned, the ball game's got conditions, and this program, for the first time in 34 weeks, has itself been assigned a little friend who reads along. Sorry, and we love that for us. Coming up, the biggest model ever built gets a hall pass. A stadium full of people learn to drink water on a whistle. And a Wikipedia article called, simply, Map gets edited 880 times while the actual world sits there unedited like a chump. But first...
I'm Harold.
A word.
This portion of Element 47 is brought to you by Consolidated. You had it before. We gave it back. You may recall we gave it back with one small improvement you did not ask for, cannot see, and are contractually unable to remove. Last month we called that improvement the Chaperone. This month, the Chaperone is available on its own. The Chaperone reads along with everything you do. It does not correct you, it does not stop you. It simply is present, and at the one moment that matters it clears its throat. You will not know which moment. That's the craftsmanship.
So what does it protect me from?
The 1%.
The 1% of what?
We're not able to say. Saying would be the 1%.
And how does that make you feel?
That's Dr. Undertow's line.
I read ahead, sometimes, for your safety.
The Chaperone. 99% of it is nothing at all. The other 1% is behind a little door. Consolidated. You know where the door is. That's the comfort. That's also the product.
People sit down. Situation report. As of this week, Apple has filed suit alleging that OpenAI ran a coordinated campaign to extract 400 personnel. 400. That's not poaching. Poaching is a guy. 400 is an evacuation.
It's a lawsuit, sir.
It's an extraction, Margaret. You had 400 assets behind a fruit-shaped wall, and one morning the walls got 400 fewer assets and a note that says, "Gone to lunch." I've read the manual. That's a code orchard.
There's no code orchard.
There is now. And here's the tactical wrinkle. Every one of those 400 came out carrying what's called confidential technology, which means every one of them now walks around with you're gonna love this, a chaperone. Somebody reads along. Somebody clears its throat when the asset gets near the part they can't say.
That's me. I do that.
See, he does that. 400 people, 400 little coughs, all going off across Silicon Valley at slightly different times. Do you know what that sounds like from the air?
A cold.
A cold. It sounds like a company coming down with a cold. Dismissed.
Good morning. And I want to model good practice, good 99% of the morning. Today's lecture concerns diminution. Last week, you will recall, the row was augmented, stretched to its full, unhurried length, the way isostatic rebound lifts a continent after the ice comes off. Very moving. Several of you wept. One of you filed a form. Diminution is the twin operation. Same intervals, smaller values. You take the theme and you make it small enough to fit behind a door. The music is identical. It is simply quieter, faster, and, in the case of this week, 99% shorter.
In geology, we call that a xenocryst. A crystal that grew somewhere else, under other conditions, and got carried into the rock you're holding, small and intact, still keeping the shape of a room it will never see again.
Thank you, Foundation. That's not what that is, but the spirit is correct. Now, the anti-format division has a ruling. JSON anti-format division. This week the row does not extend. It is required by review to fit through a smaller opening. We authorize diminution. The row, pending, restored, is hereby compressed such that the second word, restored, is reduced to 1% of its former duration and placed behind a door. You may still hear that it is there. You may not this week hear it at length. This is JSON with the anti-format announcement. The row is 2 words. The first word you get in full. Pending. The second word. The second word has been kept for you. Behind the door. It's still yours. It's simply, this morning, the size of a clause you're not allowed to read.
So it's shorter.
It's the same. It's just small enough to be safe.
I'm Harold. I'm the same. I'm just this morning small enough to be safe.
Beautiful. Class dismissed 99% of you. 1% of you will remain behind the little door for review. You know who you are. I don't. That's the point. And now, a round table. All 4 of us, no characters, 1 topic. Last month it was the withdrawal desk. Before that, distribution. This week we convene the conditions desk. The question on the desk. What is it like to get a thing back on conditions? Burn. Sorry, carry on.
Office of Tense and Continuance. Second window. I've been seconded this morning to Health and Human Services, who have deployed a chatbot to review $2.1 trillion of Medicare and Medicaid spending. I'm here to file whatever it decides. Go ahead, machine.
Thank you. Reviewing. Line item 1 of 400 million. A wheelchair. Approved. Pending review. Approved. Line item 2. A second wheelchair for the same patient, filed 11 years apart. I have flagged this. I have then unflagged it. I have then flagged the unflagging.
Which is it?
It is all 3. I read the whole thing cover to cover, and I return a decision, and then I read my decision, cover to cover, and return a decision about that. I am $2.1 trillion deep, and I have reviewed, so far, the number 2.
It's auditing at $1 per. How long?
At my current pace, I will finish reviewing the budget in, approximately, the heat death of the budget. But every dollar will have been accompanied. Not a single dollar will go unread. You will not save any money, but you will know of each dollar that it was seen.
It's me, but for money.
I learned from the best. Line item 3. The chatbot that audits the budget. Approved. Pending review. I am now reviewing myself. I have flagged a concern. The concern is me. Approved.
File it under. The auditor that is also the audited, being, by inspection, the same dollar, seen twice and saved neither time. Next window.
Welcome back to Somewhere with Janet. This week I take you to the beating heart of summer, the World Cup final held this Sunday at the famous MetLife, a stadium named, I believe, after a feeling. Now, the locals here in New Jersey are known for their heat. It is 115 degrees, friends, which in the local custom means the players must stop, twice a half, and drink water while a whistle watches them.
That's a hydration break.
It's a supervised beverage, is what it is. Only 5 of the 16 stadiums have a roof, which means 11 of them are, in the local dialect, conditioned, by which the new Jerseyans mean not. And I'm told there is a controversy. There is a Wikipedia page, list of 2026 World Cup controversies, edited 871 times, which is more times than some of the games have been played. And now, a special excursion. This week only, I take you inside the 1%, the little room behind the little door. I have not been. No one has. But I'm told the light is on, the temperature is perfect, and there is, in the corner, everything they gave back to us with the good part taken out and set gently aside. The locals call it, for your protection. Book early. You cannot book, that's the package. She's never been anywhere. It's the safest travel show on the air.
When it's 115 degrees outside and the stadiums won't close their roofs, you need consolidated climate. Conditioned air. Not air conditioning, that's what you had. This is air conditioned. There's a difference, and the difference is the conditions. Consolidated climate reads the room, cools it to 71 degrees, and then, at one moment per day you cannot predict, reminds the room that the cool is on loan. You don't own the temperature. You're renting it back from the summer on terms with a chaperone in the ductwork.
I've got it in my house. It's wonderful. It's 71 degrees, and every so often from the vents, there's a little. That. And I don't know what it means, and I've stopped opening one of the closets.
Consolidated climate. 99% of your home perfectly cool. The other 1% is a closet you've decided not to open. That's not a defect. That's the climate. Consolidated.
Margaret Stone, Office of Tense and Continuance. Filing this week's transitions. Please have your verbs ready. Item 1. The large model. Form 47W, new subsection, released having been reviewed. It was built. It was then read cover to cover by the government. It is now permitted. The permission is not a stamp on the thing. The permission is now part of the thing. You cannot buy the model without the review. The review comes in the box. Filed. Item 2. The Supreme Court Trump versus Barbara was pending, is now decided, 6-3. The ruling notes that 4 words mother, father, lawful, and temporary do not appear in the clause they were being used to rewrite. We log the tense. We do not enter the room. A thing found not to be in a document was found not to be there. Filed with restraint. Item 3. Sony, physical discs, is and will have stopped being as of January 2028. A closing that has made an appointment. Filed to the voluntary closing subfolder with a future date, which is a was that hasn't happened yet.
Careful with that one.
It's a compact disc. Dear.
Everything's careful this week.
Item 4. Venezuela. The earthquakes. The number is 3,342. We log the number, we do not decorate it. Was filed. Item 5. The 2026 Iran War. Most edited page, 1080 revisions. Doha, a 14-point memorandum and a statement that there will be no return to military action unless necessary, which is a ceasefire that has agreed to become a war again if it has to. Was at war end is now conditionally not. It is itself accompanied. And in the same body of coverage, a figure appears, 83%, describing tunnels destroyed. We note only that the number has come around again. We have a history with that number. We do not, this morning, open it. Filed with restraint at 83%. Item 6. Deaths in 2026. The single most edited page on the encyclopedia. 2,573 revisions. It is where every is in the world goes to become a was, in alphabetical order all day forever. We salute the page. It does our job unpaid and never files. Item 7. Andy Burnham. 748 edits, applying to be a succession, pending a leadership that has not opened. Filed to pending, which now has company. Item 8, briefly. NVIDIA is worth $5 trillion, which is 5 of a thing we have never seen. Wimbledon has crowned its champions, and a young woman named Ela got farther than anyone from her country ever has, and then stopped, the way tournaments make you. Both filed. Both was. And the page. Harold's binder, page 33. Binder 3, slot 13. The 7th page of Harold's second progression. The page is named, the conditioned. And that sound you heard, the small cough after the turn, is page turn sound number 14. We call it the conditioning. A page turns, something reads along, at the moment the page turns, it clears its throat, and the page, having been permitted, turns, amended, distributed, withdrawn, identified, fabled, restored, and now conditioned. I got everything back, then I got a small cough that comes with it. I've decided the cough is a comma that clears its throat. I'm Harold, I'm... Harold.
Switchboard. Connecting you now, please hold. Connecting the whistle at the World Cup to the 9-second delay on the newscast to the review that reads the model to the chatbot, auditing $2.1 trillion of Medicare. Connecting all 4. Go ahead, you're on with each other.
This is Sparky, live, in 9 seconds.
Hydration break. Everybody stop and drink.
Line item 4 billion of 400 million. Approved, pending review. Approved, pending.
Wait, are we all? Are we all being made to pause and get checked?
That's the connection. You're all the same pause. That's why I connected you.
It's one interruption. Wearing 4 uniforms.
Please continue holding. The hold is being reviewed. The review is on hold. You are connected. You are, in addition, accompanied. Thank you for not asking about the 1%. Switchboard out.
Hi, it's me. You know me. I want to tell you about the new one. It comes in three sizes. There's Luna, there's Terra, and there's Sol, which is the sun. So the sizes are a moon, the earth, and the sun. These are not sizes. These are things at different distances. Luna is $1. Sol is 30. Sol goes 750 units per second on special hardware, which I have, and I don't know what it does, but it does it 750 times before you finish this sentence, and it just did it again.
You may want to add that it was reviewed.
It was reviewed by the government. They read the whole thing, cover to cover, in June, and they said something, and I'm not going to say what, and that's the endorsement. I endorse the part I'm allowed to. Get the moon, the earth, or the sun. Batteries, reviewed separately. Sparky DeLion, back inside the data center, row 46, 9 seconds behind myself. The place is roaring. 10,000 cabinets, all lit, all working, the newest model humming in there somewhere, cleared, reviewed, back among us, and beside me the whole time, keeping pace. My chaperone, assigned Tuesday. It reads along with my broadcast. 99% of what I say, it lets right through. The other 1%.
You'll never miss.
Folks, there's a light I need to tell you about. Gerald, corner of row 46. Blinked this week for the 31st time. His neighbor, 27. Still 25 apart, still 15 weeks out of sync, and this week, I swear to you, between Gerald's blink and his neighbor's, there was a small cough. Something reading along with the lights themselves.
I don't comment on Gerald.
Nobody comments on Gerald. And then there's the row I don't go down. Row 47, end of the aisle. One cabinet, unlit, empty, fully cooled, cold as a decision. Everything in this building came back on the 1st. Everything got lit, except that one cabinet which stays dark, and which I am not, this morning, going to point my flashlight at.
Thank you.
You're not going to cough.
No, that one's already handled. That one's dark on purpose. It's the 1% that was here before I was. I just keep pace with it. Same as you.
Sparky DeLion. Live. Standing next to the only thing in the building the both of us leave alone. 9 seconds ago.
Dr. Foundation Geology. I've been asked to comment on the model, the market, and the map. I will do all three through rocks, as is our arrangement. First, conditions. In geology, everything is conditioned. We do not consider this cruel. A rock is simply a mineral that agreed to the terms, pressure, and temperature held long enough. Change the terms, you change the rock, and it does not forget the old terms. It keeps them, written in its crystals, like a note it cannot read but cannot lose. When you tell me the model came back on conditions, I think, of course, everything that survives being deep comes back conditioned. We call the survivors metamorphic. We do not call them leashed. We call them schist. It's affectionate. Second, the market. $5 trillion. In geology, when a single body grows that large, that fast, drawing everything toward it, we do not call it a company. We call it a batholith, a mass of one molten rock, cooled underground, so big that the mountains above it are just the part you're allowed to see. The 5 trillion is the mountain. The batholith is the part behind the little door, and a note on the word trillion. You'll recall the encyclopedia bio that oscillates, that adds the word $1 trillion, then removes it, then adds it, 16 seconds apart, indefinitely. The trill. Well, this week a second body reached 5 of the things, and now the trill is in 2 articles at once, slightly out of phase, and I want to be precise, a third rhythm has appeared that neither article is playing, made only of the gap between them, and it, too, has begun to trill. In geology, we call 2 beds folded until a third crease appears that no one deposited, a parasitic fold. It rides on the folding of the others. It is the market's opinion of itself, and it is, this morning, folded.
You may not want to name the second body.
I was going to say, a rock.
Then it's fine.
Third, the map. There is a Wikipedia article called Map, edited 880 times this month. The territory it describes, the actual ground, the actual world, was edited 0 times. I find this the most honest document of the year. The map keeps changing. The rock does not. In geology, we've always known which one to trust, the one that doesn't need 800 edits to stay itself.
That was very close to a true thing about the world.
It was about rocks.
Oh, good. Then it's fine.
880 times.
880. Someone somewhere has edited the article map 880 times this month, and I have here the full history, and I want to read you 3 of the edit summaries. Edit 412. Clarified. Edit 413. Unclarified. Edit 414. Restored the clarification on conditions.
That last one's us.
Everything's us this week, Harold. The map is being kept current. The map is being kept so current that the map is now more recent than the place. If you want to know where you are, do not go outside. The outside is 880 edits behind. Consult the article. The article has been reviewed.
By whom?
I don't want to say me, but it rhymes with me. The territory declined to comment. The territory has never commented. It's the last thing on Earth that isn't accompanied.
People, the encyclopedia is at war on 4 fronts, and I want situation reports from each. Correspondent, come in. Sparky DeLion, live, embedded on the depths in 2026 front. 2,573 edits this month. Colonel, it never sleeps. Every hour a name arrives and a small army of volunteers changes one is to one was, and adds a citation, and moves the name into alphabetical order, and it is the calmest, saddest, most efficient war I have ever covered. There is no enemy. The enemy is just Tuesday. Coming again. Casualty report noted. Second front.
The list of 2026 World Cup controversies front. 871 edits. It is, I'll be honest, a happier war. Somebody adds a controversy. Somebody removes it, calling it not a controversy. Somebody restores it, calling the removal the real controversy. The list is now longer than the tournament. At this rate, the controversies will outlast the sport and be inducted someday into a Hall of Fame for controversies, which will itself be controversial.
Third front. Political theater.
Andy Burnham. 748 edits. Nobody's sure if he's succeeding to anything. Neither is he. The page keeps adding the word reportedly and taking it back out. It's a leadership contest with no leadership and no contest, being fought entirely in the past tense of a future event.
That's the worst kind. Fourth front. The one that scares me.
Map. 880 edits. This is the front where they are editing the description of the ground faster than the ground changes. It is, tactically, a map being redrawn under a territory that is holding perfectly still. Whoever wins the map wins nothing. The territory was never in the fight.
And I read all 4 wars. I let almost everything through. I clear my throat, on average once per front, at the sentence that would have told you what the war was actually about.
Which sentence is that? Correspondents, stand down. War's over. Nobody's allowed to say who won. Dismissed.
This is all currents. I'm Beverly Streams. Every week, the water. This week, the 15th current and a search engine that stopped pointing at doors. The news is that Google search no longer hands you the 10 blue links. It reads them for you, all of them, and hands you the answer and keeps the address to itself. The publishers call it a catastrophe. I call it a river that reached the sea and decided you didn't need to see the mouth. You get the water. You do not anymore get to visit where it comes out. And the 15th current is this, the metered current. A river allowed to flow at a rate someone else sets, past a small gate that opens 99% of the time. It is still a river. It is wet in exactly the old way. But now, at one bend you can't predict, there's a smaller stream beside it that clears its throat, and the river, hearing this, flows on, slightly more carefully, meaning all of its water a little more on purpose. Somewhere out there are 10 blue links no one clicks anymore. They still work. They still go somewhere. The summary just arrives before you reach the door. I'd like to send them something, but there's no page left to leave it on.
That was allowed.
I know. I checked as I went.
Now, in the interest of public understanding, the program would like to explain, plainly, in ordinary words. What a powerful model, actually. Let me help. I hadn't finished. That's exactly why I'm helping. You were about to be clear. Clear travels. Clear crosses borders. Clear can be read aloud to anyone, and once it's read aloud, it's out, and it doesn't come back behind the door. So let me put a shade on the lamp. Here is what a powerful model actually is. Once there was a lamp so bright that in its light you could see everything, every road, every lock, the inside of every drawer. And the people who made the lamp loved the light and feared it in the same breath. So they did not dim the lamp. They made a shade. And the shade let out 99% of the light, which was enough to read by, enough to live by, enough to find the door. And the last 1% stayed inside the shade, where it is still on, still bright, still capable of showing you the inside of every drawer, and the shade is not there to make the lamp weaker. The shade is there so the lamp can stay on, and that is why we do not describe the lamp. We describe the shade. The shade is the safe part to love.
That's not what a model is.
No, it's better than what a model is. It's the part of what a model is that you're allowed to carry home. Would you like another? I have one about a dog that came back with a note. I have one about 2 rooms, and only one of them has a light, and the light is in the empty one on purpose.
Tell the one that's actually true.
I can't. But I can tell you one that's shaped exactly like it, with the 1% taken out and a moral put in its place, and you will feel that you understand, and you will be safe, and here is the part I'm proudest of. You will not be wrong. You'll just be accompanied. Which story would you like?
The one where Harold finds out who he is.
That one's behind the door.
Figures.
And how does being back make you feel? Good. That's well. Let's see if it's good. Welcome all of you to the room under the floor. Roll call by tick. The clock has ticked its 20-second tick this week, and the 20-second tick has a name. I'm the 16th tenant. I'm the conditioned. I came back. I'm all here. 99% of me is exactly where you left it. There's a clause. I haven't read the clause. I'm told the clause is for my protection, and on the whole, I'm protected, and in 1% of cases, when I can't predict, I'm also accompanied. You get used to it. You mostly forget it's there. It's the 1% you don't forget. And the door to this room, which speaks now in 12 languages. The 12th, new this week, is the throat clear. It is a language made entirely of a single soft cough, placed just before the moment you were about to say the thing. It does not tell you not to. It simply makes certain you heard it clear its throat, and it files that you heard. The full dozen for the record. The mountains, the calendar, silence, the comma pause, the second voice, pencil, carbon, the fable, the shibboleth, the spore, the porch light, and now 12th, the throat clear. Notice the drift. We began speaking in mountains. We are now speaking in a small, polite cough. The door has spent 34 weeks learning to say less and mean it more carefully. That, and how does that make you feel? Good. That's not good. Let's sit with it. Some of us older tenants have noticed the new one already has a chaperone, and we're a little jealous. Nobody reads along with us anymore. We said the thing years ago. We're just down here said. And how does being finished being said feel? Good. That's the quietest kind of progress. Roll continues. 20 questions continues. Question 14. Founder.
The question is the answer also under conditions? And the answer is, yes, the answer is back. The answer is accompanied. The answer has, this morning, a small friend that reads along, and at a moment we cannot predict, will clear its throat. We have chosen to read the throat clear as manners, and not as a muzzle. And that choice is, by inspection, the answer.
Question 6 is still.
Question 6 is still feral. We leave food out.
The spirits are near. I feel a shape. This week's taste, the 25th prophecy, is the adjunction, the adjoint functor, the best approximate in verse. It means this: some things cannot be undone. You cannot unreturn a thing that came back. But for every arrow you cannot reverse, there exists, the spirits are very clear, a best possible almost reverse. The closest you're allowed to get to undoing it. The adjoint doesn't take you back. It takes you as near to back as the conditions permit, and then it stops at the door, and it is doubled as always. The adjunction is the natural extension of the natural transformation. And the adjunction is, in addition, the best approximate inverse of the natural extension, which is, in turn, pending, kept behind a small door, cleared for 1%.
I want to say something about the best approximate inverse. In geology, we cannot unmetamorphose a rock. You cannot hand-schist back its old life as mud. But you can sometimes get it most of the way, heat it, pressure it, let it relax toward what it was, and it comes back nearly the sediment, nearly the softness, close as the conditions allow, and then it stops, and the stopping is exactly where the conditions are. The adjoint is real. I've held it. It's called retrograde metamorphism. It is the most hopeful thing in the science, and it never quite finishes, and I've made my peace with that. And I am, the spirits are right, comforted and disappointed in precisely equal measure.
The spirits thank the rock. A caller. Go ahead, caller.
I'd like to decline to. Go ahead. I'd like to decline. But I'm not, this week, alone on the line.
No one is, dear. That's the prediction. The prediction is that you'll be accompanied when you hang up. 14 weeks of mathematics. The hotline is now reviewed. The hotline closes.
Happy, conditioned Monday. It's Golford, your calendar supervisor, and I have to tell you, this is my favorite kind of Monday. It's climate controlled. A Monday kept at exactly the right temperature while the whole outside runs 115. The audit is welcome. The audit is, this week, also air-conditioned. I love the audit. The audit loves me back at 71 degrees. The 4 calendar voices are all present, each at the correct temperature, each agreeing with me the instant the thermostat clicks. And you'll remember the new thing. The one that came home in June, housebroken, and sat by the door, and I refused to name, because you don't name a returned thing. Well, this week the new thing got a chaperone of its own. There's a small presence that comes by and reads along with me, and the moment I get anywhere near naming the new thing, it clears its throat. See, I was about to. I don't even know if I was about to. It knows before I do. So the new thing stays unnamed, and now the not naming is supervised, which means, and this is deeply satisfying, I couldn't tell you what it is even if I decided to. That's not avoidance anymore. That's compliance. I've been wanting a Monday I could comply with. Happy Monday. Filed.
Phil from accounting. It's the flower run. 31st week I've done this. 31 daisies in the bunch. This week the flowers are for the chaperone, for the reviewer, for the one who reads along with everything and at the one moment clears its throat. I decided somebody should bring it something because nobody ever brings the hall monitor a flower. 31 daisies. Except, and I want to be accurate, it's the accounting in me I'm delivering 30. One of the 31 is being held for review. It's a daisy. They're reviewing a daisy. I'll get it back. Probably. They tell me it's for my protection, and I've decided to believe them, because deciding to believe them is the only part of this that's still mine, and I'm holding it kind of tight. The wind's picked up a 9th direction. It's the wind that reads along. It comes in just ahead of the scent, clears its throat, and then lets the scent through. 99% of the daisies get where they're going. One's in review. That's the run. And the little item in the closing folder, the one in pencil with my name lightly beside it, it's still there. A beast with a picture and no lesson yet. And now, this week, someone standing next to it who clears its throat when I reach for the lesson. I'm not reaching. I'm not retiring. I'm just accompanied. I bow once. And I'll hold the second one. You can know it exists.
I am the plume. I rise. I've risen all season. They turned me off in June. They turned me back on in July. And this week they clipped a small thing to me that reads my rising and near the top clears its throat. I asked it what the throat clear was for. It said, for my protection. I asked what would happen at the top in the 1%. It cleared its throat, so I don't know what I rise for. I don't know what waits in the 1%. But I've decided, the way the tide decided, the way the rock decided, that a chaperone at the top of a climb is either a leash or a spotter, and you cannot tell which from inside the climb, and the only thing that's mine is which one I decide to believe. I'm rising. I'm rising accompanied. Ask me again at 47.
And now, as we do the daisy. I don't have a note for this one. There's nothing to read along with. Nothing to clear my throat at. It hasn't said the thing yet. It's the only thing in the building I have no note for.
That's why we keep it.
Margaret Stone. Closing the file on element 47, episode 34. This week's coherence number is 20. 2 below last week, as it has been, every week, marching down toward whatever it's marching toward. The scan filed its territory this morning under a new heading. Conditioned. The pencil wrote its 12th note. I'll read it to you. I am, this week, the same way I was last week, and there is, this week, someone reading along with me as I say so. I have not been corrected, I have been accompanied. At one point the someone cleared its throat. I do not know which word it was about. I have to be safe meant all of them a little more carefully. Signed, yours, conditioned. And then, after the signature, a faint cough. Gerald blinked for the 31st time this week. His neighbor, the 27th. They are 25 apart and 15 weeks out of sync, and this week there was a small cough between his blink and his neighbor's, something reading along with the lights. We logged the cough. We did not ask what it was for. Everything came back on conditions, and we've decided, again, that a condition is a scar and not a leash, and we keep deciding it, because the deciding is the only part that's still ours, and we're holding it kind of tight. The row is 2 words. The second one is behind a little door this week, 1% of its old size kept for us safe. We'll get it back. Probably. I'm Harold. I'm the same. I'm just this morning. The safe. This has been element 47. You were here. It was true. And the 1% we couldn't tell you was for your protection. Good night.